Oh, I can't change my scenes with Stream Deck anymore. Hold on. That's weird. Fair enough. I think sometimes AC3 is just taking priority over my Stream Deck. Because I have to have a game run in administrator mode for it to function properly. Okay, so it's been actually quite a bit since we last played AC3. The last stream of our Historic Order run was entirely dedicated to Liberation. And yeah, there's actually a few years passing in between the last mission of Connor, you know, where he started out his training, and, you know, going to Boston for the first time and all of that. But yeah, now we are a few years later, and he's at the end of his, you know, training now, just before becoming a full-fledged assassin. And that also means we're gonna be able to explore and do quite a bit more side content now, also with the Homestead having unlocked and all of that. Hello there, Mita. Welcome in. And good day. How's it going? Well, Schatzli, we're gonna find that out hopefully today. And yeah, I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. Having a nice chill Sunday over here. How's it going for you? And also Brabek. Okay. Oh, very nice, Amita. That's great to hear, dude. That is very true, Dr. Darling. Yeah, Hertha won 4 games in a row without having any kind of like conceding goal either. The 0 stands. But yeah, it's quite unusual as a Hertha fan, you know, to have that kind of like winning streak and not even conceding any goals either. Can't remember the last time it ever happened. I guess a Hertha fan, you're kind of like used to having to suffer. So, the game is wrongfully saying that 6 months have passed, but he's even talking about how years have passed. And that is also true, according to, you know, the timeline and the novel and all that. But yeah, it's not the first time that an AC game has kind of like put, you know, a time frame on the screen and it didn't match the actual timeline of the game. But yeah, not to be confused by that, much more time has passed than 6 months here.
Time passed quickly after that. My days a blur of study, training, and work. What little free time Achilles allowed me was spent learning about the Templars, about Charles Lee and my father. I longed to confront them, to put an end to their schemes, to ensure my people would remain untroubled and free. But I knew it was too soon. That to approach them now would see me killed. All my work would be for nothing. Patience, restraint. These proved the most difficult subjects for me. But in time I mastered them as well. Days became months, months became years. And as my skills and knowledge grew, so too did I.
You know what else grows? Something that Achilles is having in his hand there. What the fuck is this? This bug also happens in the remaster version, so it's not exclusive to either version. But yeah. Whatever this is supposed to be here. I guess his stick.
Hello. Lovely day.
Or his feather that he's using. You saw this for the very first time, or did you? Yeah, for me it happened a few times now across my playthroughs, between the original and the remaster. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something with my system that's causing it in the game. It's a bug that has been remastered. It looks much better now, in higher resolution. That's what you call well equipped, I know, right? Definitely has no issues with that. Alright, time to get some sea legs. The hard way. The Aquila must be equipped with cannon at Martha's Vineyard. Officers must also be hired to command the new guns.
Come aboard and feast your eyes, boy. No, not the left foot. Never the left foot. Horrible look. Step with your right foot first.
She is solid?
Aye. Weatherly and sleek. She'll fetch 12 knots in a stiff gale, near a ship from here to Singapore can outrun her on her best day. What do you say we take her out? Show you what she can do firsthand.
Where would we go?
As it happens, she still needs guns and the officers to command them. We'll launch straight away. Don't worry, lad. I'll make sure you sprout good sea legs. Haul in the mainsail! Get up the rigging! Hand over fist! Come on, men! Let's get her out where she needs to be!
It's still so cool that he plays Gibbs also in Pirates of the Caribbean, the first mate to Captain Jack Sparrow. I've got the same actor, you know, to voice a similar type of character in this game. Master Gibbs.
Come on, lad, no time like the present.
You know, even though the naval system is a lot more basic than it was in Black Flag, or not quite as refined, I really love the atmosphere they create on the naval missions in this game. They really are yeah. It's like one of those movie series I always love to rewatch, you know, every other year. But I agree, it's for me the first 3 movies that I, you know, specifically rewatch and like the best. The later ones are, yeah, I don't know, a bit more into the trashy department. To be fair, the third one was already really wacky. But I think what saved it is that you had so many, you know, kind of like characters making returns, and it felt like a continuation of a second movie, you know. And the wacky parts were so wacky that they're almost, you know, good again. But yeah, it's just such a funny movie as well. But yeah, I love those movies so much. Naval ships. You probably don't know much about 18th century naval warfare because you don't know much about anything at all. So here's a rundown of some of the types of vessels you're likely to encounter. Frigates. These are long, relatively light vessels with a lot of guns, more than 28, if you want to get technical about it. Frigates were light and easily maneuverable, so they were often used for reconnaissance or escorting merchant vessels. Frigate is also a terrific word to use if you want to swear, but your mother-in-law is nearby. Gunboats. These were smaller vessels, generally containing only one gun, but it was a really big gun. The gun of a boat is where the term gunboat gets the word gun from. It's not known why the word boat is there. Gunboats were relatively inexpensive to build and could be assembled quickly. They were most often used to bombard targets on land. Although gunboats can easily be destroyed by a larger ship, such as a frigate, several gunboats together could do some serious damage before a larger ship could destroy them all. Strength in numbers, and guns of course. Mostly guns. Schooners. Schooners are small light craft noted for their speed. These were the preferred ships for privateers during the American Revolution, and there was nothing better for breaking through enemy lines faster than you could get a shot at, or for making a fast getaway. Nowadays, of course, we have jet skis. A man-o'-war. This isn't really a naval classification, but more of a catch-all term for a warship carrying a lot of cannon. Most of the man-o'-wars you see will likely be ships of a line, which are essentially big ships with multiple gun decks stacked on one another. Basically, naval warfare consisted of lining up your ships broadside against the enemy ships in order to hit them with the most cannonball possible. Of course, the enemy would be trying to do the same thing. Predictably, the bigger ships with the most guns usually won, leading to the building of more ships with even bigger guns. It wasn't sophisticated, but by God, it worked. The gunboat has two boats, you see, the boat and the gun. By God, it does.
Double time, boy. It's time you learned.
Check the hatches!
Take the helm. Come on, she won't bite. You're connected.
Half sail!
Ah! Your killer flies again! Do you feel it, lad? Set a course for Martha's Vineyard. We'll find our guns and officers there. She's a nimble vessel, but the faster she goes, the more cumbersome she grows. And the firmer your hand needs to be. Enjoy this stretch of open water before we come upon those shallows. Call for full sail if you like.
Full sail!
Bend them all, full sail! Wind looks to be shifting. Stay alert, Connor. Gusty winds can be difficult to manage.
I want everything!
Unfurl everything! Full sail! Now, take us through these shallows. Careful not to run up on them. The sandbars will slow us down, but the rocks will put a hole through a hull. And if you want to make a quick tack, call for half sail. She's more maneuverable then. Mind those other vessels! Hold your tack to keep your right of way!
I love the fact that you can hear like what's going on the other ships.
Half sail!
Slow her down to half sail!
Why can't we have that music on our ship? Imagine if you could actually have it as music instead of like shanties on your ship.
Cottages! We're close!
Full sail!
Full sail! Go get that wind!
Ease her off!
Half no sail!
No sail!
No sail! Drop anchor. We'll go ashore, buy our guns, and find our officers. Oh, hello, Miss Mandy. You're looking every bit as ravishing as I remember.
After all these years, you sail all the way to the vineyard to pay me compliments?
We are looking for David and Richard Clutterbuck.
Nice to see you, too.
Robert Faulkner. Where the hell you been?
Sorry for leaving like I did, lads, but where I was going, no one could know. You two working much?
No. Between contracts at the moment.
Well, we're looking for gunnery officers. What would you two say to working with me again?
We'd be for getting into a few more scraps.
Good show. The Aquila is a fine vessel. We're fitting all the guns as we speak.
Looks like your friend's about to catch a beating.
Where is Charles Lee?
I don't much care for your tone, boy.
Hey, you don't want to be doing that, Biddle.
Bobby Faulkner turned to wet nursing. It's good you finally realize you're a shite sailor.
Whoa, 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 not in here, gentlemen. Better still, not at all. Bobby, take your friends and get out!
Let's go, boys. Our guns ought to be ready. Come on.
He said it. He said the thing. Where is Charles Lee? It's so funny how it doesn't even introduce himself. He's just like talking to him with his back turned. Like, who are you and why are you interested in Charles Lee?
Put a bend on that boom sheet!
David and Richard Clutterbuck were gunners in the merchant navy starting in the mid-18th century. According to their reputation, these two aren't averse to a friendly fistfight over pretty much anything, so if you're talking to them, try not to mix up their names. David is your older brother, Richard the younger. Oh, and definitely don't try and be funny with her surname. The Clutterbucks were a Dutch family who moved to London when David and Richard were young. Their father was a dock worker, and so the two brothers grew up near and in the dockyards, running errands to pass the time and earn extra cash. They showed an early aptitude and affinity, if you will, for fighting. The two brothers joined the crew with Robert Faulkner on board the Stalwart in 1750 and working with him until he disappeared in 53. Unlike many who go to sea in search of adventure and treasure, the Clutterbucks' motivation was somewhat different. Guns. They grew up hearing the stories of the sea, but it wasn't until they overheard a gunner talking about the power of his cannon that they decided a sailor's life was for them. The sailor was not in fact talking about an actual cannon, but the impressionable lads missed it. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying he was talking about another type of cannon, a different weapon altogether. I'm saying this cannon had power. I'm using speech marks to make it obvious. He had a powerful weapon. He wielded an enormous penis. Still don't get it? Oh well. The Clutterbucks spent years traveling on various merchant and privateer vessels, almost always hurrying on as a pair. They eventually settled semi-permanently in Martha's Vineyard, taking it as a place to rest between contracts before they would get tired of all the quiet and hire onto another crew. I'll explain the joke again later. Yeah, I really haven't got it, Sean. I think you have to explain it again. Amanda Bailey was a well-known and well-liked innkeeper in Martha's Vineyard around the time of the American Revolution. She was born in North Carolina in 1730, the oldest of a large family. Her mother died when she was only 14, leaving young Amanda to work and help care for younger brothers and sisters alone. Amanda first crossed paths with Robert Faulkner when she was a teenager. He was working for the United Company of Merchants. She was a barmaid. Clearly a recipe for romance. They exchanged letters. I suppose it was the texting of its day, which stopped when Faulkner disappeared from Halifax to join the assassins. Sad fate. Despite reports that Faulkner had fallen overboard and was dead, Amanda felt that he was still alive, somewhere, and after several years she went in search of him, possibly so she could give him hell for abandoning her, but I'm speculating. She never found Faulkner and eventually settled in Martha's Vineyard, taking a job working in a local inn, which she later purchased. Amanda had a born talent for leadership and organization. She was responsible for setting up the first school in the area, not to mention advocating for improvements to the docks to bring in more business. Her inn was a hub for gossip during the Revolution, particularly if you wanted the latest in ship movements. It will probably come as no surprise to you that she was a spy for the Patriots, but that's only been publicly known since 1919, when a box of her personal correspondence was found, including some coded notes in Benjamin Talmadge's handwriting. Pretty multi-layered character, I have to say. I feel kinda bad for her, looking for Faulkner, and Faulkner just reappearing like this, like nothing happened. I mean, this was in 53 when he disappeared, and this is now 20 years later. And he's like acting like, nothing happened. But it's cool because later in the Peg Leg missions and stuff, you can actually see them, reuniting and actually, getting along again. So it's kind of implied that they might, have a thing going on again later. We also found out about Nicholas Biddle. He's one of the guys that Connor got into conflict here. And he's also going to be the major Templar antagonist of a naval campaign. Nicholas Biddle was an ambitious young sailor who became one of the first captains of the Continental Navy. Biddle joined the Royal Navy in 1770, the British side, but when the American Revolution started, he offered his services to the Continental Congress. So a traitor then, Though it's funny how you lot don't generally see it that way. Anyway, while he was only a midshipman for the British, Congress quickly gave him a command of his own ship, the Franklin. In 76, he was offered an even better deal, command of a brand new ship named the KANEN'TÓ. History is mute on the reasons behind Bidul's rise to prominence. However, I think I might be able to solve the mystery. We saw Church recruiting him when Connor stopped at Nantucket. Bidul eventually became a privateer for the Continental Congress, patrolling British shipping routes, harassing their ships, and keeping the spoils from any he could capture. He had a reputation as an excellent captain. He divided the spoils evenly and never used corporal punishment against his crew. What a softie. Pitiful, really. Though I think you can see why that would be a job perk. I mean, gotta give it to him, at least he's fair.
Where is Charles Lee gone?
Towards his crew. Where's Charles Lee? That is a question, isn't it? Hello there, Nikki, and welcome in. There he is. Not in person, but at least I have a picture to remind us how beautiful he looks like. You know, those milky eyes, the receding hairline. It's kind of funny because historically speaking, Charles Lee apparently was not the prettiest side either, and he actually stank. He was like constantly surrounded by his dogs, who he never like really washed apparently, and he always smelled like, you know, pretty bad wet dog. Apparently. And he was also very hot-tempered, even as a historical person. The indigenous people even called him like the hot-boiled one or something. Or like raging blood or something.
This person doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I mean, yes. You're not wrong there. Hello there, Seraph. Welcome in, dude. And good day.
Good wind today, Captain.
Half sail. Half sail, men.
What the bloody hell was that about?
The older man is a Templar. Who was he with?
A Templar? The young buck was Nicholas Biddle. Nobody. Sails before the mast. Midshipman for the Crown.
Are the guns ready?
Aye, but we won't jump in over our heads. We'll find a suitable target and show you how they work. We've fitted her with a modest amount of guns to start, but rest assured there's ample room to add more should you feel the need.
Seraph plays inside games.
Deploy to half sail.
Take it to half sail!
We need more speed.
We need every knot, full sail!
That should be the next name that Seraph chooses.
Looks like a British frigate with half seas over. Should do nicely for a spotted target practice. Bring her around broadside, and when all guns are on target, call fire.
Round shot. Ready up to fire!
Let
Well done, boy! Now, aim all guns at her bow and do as much damage as possible.
Make ready! And fire! Ah! Some old powder in there!
Good! Now give the swivel guns a turn. More precise. Hit those old powder barrels and light up the sky.
The swivel gun has two parts.
Prepare to fire! For the Aquila, you monster! Never gets old! Not bad for a spot, Captain.
You are a fast learner.
Provided something interests me.
Ah, getting a taste for the open sea, are we? We'll make a jack tar out of you yet. Now we should be getting back. The old man is like to have my hide for keeping you out so long.
Yeah, I've actually spent about 2 weeks here on the open sea, you know, between traveling to Martha's Vineyard and getting back again. Keely's not gonna be too happy about that. He didn't even say goodbye.
Gunboats are about!
Why is he shooting at us?
We'll tear you a new one!
Destroying property of the crown, disturbing the king's peace, take your pick.
What do we do?
Naught else but to fight back. Sink the bastard!
Use the swivels on him, Captain! On me!
Take cover!
Oh, shoot then.
Cover!
That should count, shouldn't it? Yeah, it did count. We still gotta brace 2 more times here. So I'm gonna do that early, just so we can, you know, get it out of the way.
No sail! No sail! No sail!
For me, we take a bit of damage on purpose here, but that's alright. Oh, attack me then.
Got enough shots to
Get
see
the
you
sail down! All hands down! Haul in everything!
No sail!
Half sail!
Give me half sail!
Down! Down! Take cover!
Okay, so that should do it. Yeah.
Full stop!
Get up the rigging! Haul in the sails! I want a full stop! Half sail, boys!
On fire! She's going down!
English frigate! Oh, be twaddled, another one. Where in the bloody hell did she come from? Give me the damage report.
Fire broadside!
Damage report.
Haul in everything!
Hedwig, now! Carry on, sailor. Not bad for your first voyage, eh, boy?
Now we'd best be getting back, or the old man will have my guts for garters.
Oh yeah, full sync. And that finishes sequence 5.
I got 'em! All of 'em! You get what I need, and I'll give 'em to you. Simple. You got a ship. Could find 'em all to boot.
Who is that man?
Him? Some old salt always on about letters he's got from Captain Kidd. Nonsense, really, but he doesn't hurt no one, so I'll leave him be. Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned he'll chew your ear off. Anyway, the Aquila's here for you. If you should get a pang for the open sea, we'll be waiting. Now I implore you to head up the hill before the old man comes out of retirement just for me.
2 weeks, and not even a goodbye before you left.
Sorry.
Well, what are you waiting for? Put them on. Once upon a time, we had a ceremony on such occasions. But I don't think either of us are really the type for that. You've your tools and training, your targets and goals. And now you have your title. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
Probably the most sad introduction to the Brotherhood ever for an assassin. Not the most hopeful introduction, to say the least.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
Yeah?
I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively close by. Up for a trip to Manhattan?
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's gotta be looking for us.
Obviously it's not safe. Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
Local utility companies have assured the public that they're completely prepared for the upcoming solar maximum. Disruptions to service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera. It'll provide us with a feed while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean, above?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yep, read you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera? I've got pictures. Running diagnostics. Perfect. I've got a nice, strong signal. Just a heads up, there's no elevator access from here on out. You'll have to get up there the old-fashioned way.
The modern day missions in this game are just so freaking good. You know, getting to actually go out there on field missions as Desmond. The fact that you get to climb like a skyscraper, you know. It's a perfect way of kind of like making something like an Assassin Tomb gameplay wise, you know, fit with modern day.
I make my own luck.
Oh,
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
I mean, Desmond, you would have been fine, right? Dropping down here. You still have your parachute. Could only be that in the panic you're kind of like forgetting that you have one. Of actually falling down there. But yeah, look at how high we actually are here at this point. And we're climbing even higher than this. I make my own modern day. Yeah, I wouldn't mind writing my own modern day at this stage where Assassin's Creed is at. Because it can't get much worse than this, can it? Like, not like this, but as it currently is. Desmond Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, you know. Imagine if you would all of a sudden, you know, have like an Easter egg of Spider-Man appearing on like a rooftop here. In the background. He's actually someone with first civilization DNA.
Jesus.
Look on the bright side. No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paced.
Shut up, Sean.
Ah yeah, Sean. You're always so comforting. All they had to do was merge the Watch Dogs gameplay into AC modern day. Yeah, I mean, you know, Watch Dogs is definitely quite close.
There, once you reach the top of the lit up crane, you should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine, don't worry.
You know, to like AC gameplay.
I'm pretty sure she was high when she was running the numbers.
Sean!
A joke. It was a joke. Or was it?
Or was it? I think in Origins you can actually find a picture of Desmond taking a selfie from up here or something. Would have been cool if you could actually, you know, trigger one here with the skyscrapers in the background. Yeah, I mean, you know, the blackouts are one of the coolest things about Watch Dogs, you know, turning the entire city district like completely dark. We'll never get old playing that in Watch Dogs. Can you, like, take a selfie here? You definitely can't, no. Would be cool though if you could. Hello there, Etsy, welcome in. This is the original Assassin's Creed 3 version here. The PC version from 2012.
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late and you'll miss the building.
don't remember if it was an AC3, but yeah, I'm fairly certain that there's some modern day document where you can find some shots of like Desmond, you know, and the places he visited in this game. Like there's pictures of Brazil and Manhattan and all that. There's definitely a picture of like from up here. But I don't remember exactly if it was a selfie or not and in which game exactly that was.
Now, open your chute now.
The mid-air gem.
That wasn't so bad.
So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected, but I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look, I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you got to the counter.
Oh, that wasn't very smart now, was it? If you have a gun, maybe take your distance, knock it into like grabbing range.
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin. The assassin, the way I've heard it told, but it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. It doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key.
That's very comforting as well. That Rebecca set up cameras topside to see if anyone is coming. At that point, we're still basically trapped here entirely. Okay, so I won't be tricking all the extra modern day stuff here, you know, like all the dialogues, because the historical order runs won't really focus on the modern day, except for the parts we have to do. But now that we have a power source, or we can at least, you know, trigger the next, you know, yeah, the next power source to kind of like be connected to the temple, which means a bit more modern day here, with Juno telling us about the first Sith and the means of salvation they try to use to basically survive gigantic catastrophe. Is there any difference from the remastered, or is it just the graphics? It's primarily the graphics, but there's also some gameplay things that they've added and changed for the remaster, which are actually better. For example, they added the ability to low-profile double assassinate guards, which you can't do in this game, like in the original. You can only do it when running or like air assassinating or something. They also allowed you to whistle from more locations. In the original, it's a bit more limited from which locations you can whistle. I think you couldn't whistle from bushes, and I think you can do that now in the remaster, for example. And yeah, there's some other, you know, like smaller quality of life changes, which arguably definitely make the gameplay, you know, better or like easier. But there's also some bugs and glitches that weren't in the original version. So it comes with its own drawbacks, I guess. And I do think that graphically some of the lighting and stuff makes the game look worse and textures for the faces. So I kind of prefer the graphics of the original actually, even though, you know, the textures and some of the lighting is, you know, technically better in the remaster. Yeah. So I personally actually prefer the original, but I don't think either version is necessarily better or worse than the other. Kinda depends what you, you know, prefer. But yeah, it's one of those remaster versions that actually did, you know, come with a few gameplay benefits.
When we thought we could be saved, we sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not.
I really like how this connects to the storyline in AC Valhalla. You know, in Asgard with the builder. And the builder building one of those towers that we're talking about here. It's of course presented through a mythical veil, but it is exactly one of those towers we're talking about. It is being built in, you know, Valhalla. It also has been abandoned. Can you even get the original anymore? You can't buy it on PC anymore. They kind of like took it out of the store. Like digitally, I think it's out of every store and you can only buy the remaster anymore. But you could technically, I guess, get...
Hey, Crooked Loose and Only, how is AC/Liberation going?
So you could technically, I guess, get the physical version, you know, on like a console, for instance. If you can still find it on the used market or something. But yeah, apart from that, they took out the original version out of all digital stores and replaced it. Unfortunately. Hello Valucinda, welcome in and good day to you. Thank you so much for the 50 months of resubbing. And yeah, AC is going pretty good. We finished all of the side content now in Liberation and only got like 2 or 3 sequences left now in that game. But there's a bit of a time gap, so now we are back with Desmond and Connor in AC3. And now, yeah, Connor has officially joined the Assassins and we're getting really started with the open world exploration of this game. 7 streams into the game, that is. But yeah, there's been a lot of like, you know, kind of like having to cut it short to switch to another game. And this game, of course, also has a very long introduction phase between Haven and young Connor. But yeah, it's going pretty good. How's your day going? Whoops.
If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world. We lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A sixth, an eighth, a tenth, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
It's really cool when you see the ring, you know, at the beginning there. It's actually the same type of ring that you can get as part of the Pack-like missions as Connor. And it's like an anti-magnetic, you know, type of ring that affects, you know, everything metallurgic and, you know, magnetic to kind of like be deflected off the, you know, person wearing said ring. It's why Connor, you know, once he gets that, can't be hit by bullets anymore, for instance. And it's the same material that the Mayan armor is made of in Black Flag that, you know, Edward then gets and then also is shielded from any bullets, you know, missing him. Because of its anti-magnetic field. And you could see Jupiter, you know, when he's using his gun to actually have it and then be shielded as well from, you know, gunshots and stuff. And they try to use the same kind of like anti-magnetic field to kind of like shield the entire world. Or even just parts of it, but yeah, it's of course, you know, much trickier to replicate it on such a grand scale. So they never succeeded with it. But really cool that you have that technology also represented in the games, you know, on a smaller scale. Lucinda, your day's going well. You just got back from your errands and getting ready to play some games. Thought you drop by and say hello before you lurk and listen for a bit. Very nice, Lucinda. That's great to hear. Glad you're having a nice day and that you got all the errands done too. I hope you enjoy the lurk and, you know, the games that you're going to play. Definitely sounds like a nice Sunday to spend.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
Alright, so this opens up another path, but we won't explore that until we have found the next power source Evo. Which means, basically it's time to head back to the enemies. But I will take a short break before though. Because we basically reached the halfway point of the stream. And I also have to take care of a few things real quick for dinner tonight. I'm gonna have to pop the Dutch oven in the oven and all that type of stuff. So I will take care of that now and take a short break here, and then when we return, we're gonna get started on sequence 6 here of AC3. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright. Welcome back. And thank you all for staying tuned. For more AC3 as part of our historical order run, I'm gonna jump back into the year 1773. And we're now finally reaching the part where, you know, Connor actually starts out as a full-fledged assassin, having finished his training and getting to investigate his first proper targets. Hello there, Bioshock, welcome in, and good day to you. How's it going, how are things? Thank you, Dr. Darling, welcome back as well to you. Deadmond. Oh no. Bit of a spoiler, isn't it? Venom mode.
Good luck, Desmond.
Thank you, Amita. Welcome back as well to you.
The already uneasy alliance between the Crown and its subjects frays. And behind them both the Templars plot, pulling strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already spun? All these things I must determine. For only by knowing my enemy can I hope to stop them.
Spare a moment.
Of course.
Have a look.
What is it?
The Xingbao, or rope dart if you prefer. One of the many plans given to us by Xiao Yun to...
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
KANEN'TÓ.
Yes, my friend.
What brings you here? Is the village all right?
For now.
What do you mean? What has happened?
Men came, claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was being sold, and that the Confederacy had consented. We sent an envoy, but they would not listen.
You must refuse!
We cannot oppose the Sachem, but you're right as well. We cannot give up our home.
Knock, knock.
Do you have a name? Do you know who is responsible?
He is called William Johnson.
Where is Johnson now?
In Boston, making preparations for the sale.
Sale! This is theft!
Connor, take care. These men are powerful.
What would you have me do? I made a promise to my people.
If you insist upon this course of action, seek out Sam Adams in Boston. He'll be able to help. What have you done?
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start. When the threat is ended, the hatchet is removed.
You could have used a tree.
But a tree isn't a post. It's not the same thing, Achilles. Yeah, Dr. Darling. Deadman soon. Bleed to the lee, oh baby, AC3. Welcome back, Arctic. Glad to hear, Bioshock, that you're doing good. That's nice to hear. I did hear, Amita. That was totally planned on my side, you know. I just had a feeling that you were just about to sit down. And, you know, get some nice food. Hello there, Pearly Snow. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. And welcome in, raiders. How is it going? How was your stream? I hope you had a great time with Claire Obscure. Absolutely love that game. So much fun. And yeah, thank you so much everyone who joined in with a raid from Pearly Snow. Hope you guys enjoyed some Claire Obscure. Hello Varot, welcome in as well, Senny. Welcome in. And how's it going? How's your day? The rope dart has two parts. The rope and the dart. We made that joke a few times today with, you know, all those different weapons and like guns on the ship and all that type of stuff. There were quite a few like names for like weaponry that had like a similar structure, being like, you know, made out of two words coming together. Your pearls have just been snowed on. Hello there, Commander Krim. Welcome in. And good day to you. Thank you for joining in with the raid. Hello there, Pearly Snow. Thank you again so much for the raid. How are you doing? And how was the stream? Yeah, I love that moment there, Commander. You could have used a tree. Like, we were just in the process of renovating this building, and here you are, damaging it yet again. But there's a really cool detail with Hatchet, because it won't be until the end of the game that they actually see Connor removing it, and by that, yeah, you know, it's like quite a symbolic kind of like moment, because everything happening from here on out, of like Connor formally going to war, is gonna play into the moment of him like, you know, taking it out there again. So it's pretty nice. Bioshock Dragon. The thought of a dragon in Bioshock is frightening, isn't it? I mean, Bioshock itself has already, you know, some pretty scary opponents sometimes. But dragons would just be over the top. Exactly, Bioshock. It's like, leave my house alone, please. The stream was great, a real parry fest this time. Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. It's so satisfying in that game, you know, mastering the parry timing on some of the enemies. But it can definitely be a learning process, that's for sure. So what part of the game are you up to now with Clair Obscur? Are you in the first, second or third act? Oh, very nice, Rod. That's great to hear. Glad you're doing well. How was your stream today? Did you play more Tomb Raider? The Chartsy has two parts, the charts and the Lee. And don't forget the middle part, the fucking. Charts fucking Lee. Ah, gotcha, Commander. Let's give that refresh help Vavo. But yeah, you never know sometimes, you know, so thank you for letting me know regardless. Because sometimes, you know, the stream might actually crash, and if no one is saying anything, then I might not notice until later. Hello there, Barely Amused. Welcome in as well. And also welcome in King Udon Noodles. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining with the raid. Okay, so I think this is a mission I can start at any point, but let me just double check with the timeline. Okay, I actually have to wait with this until 74. But we can do some trading though. She's getting sacked by potatoes, if you know what I mean. Ah, Jesus. The freaking sucker parties. However, they were caught specifically, but yeah. They definitely got on my nerves. A little bit when I play the game. Especially with those kind of like guns they're having. Or like cannons. Yeah, for sure, that's the thing, Pearly, you know? Like, it's definitely a fine line between like frustration and like satisfaction sometimes with the parry system. Oh, very cool, Rod. That's great to hear. Also that you're doing a stealth challenge with Shadow. Yeah, I feel like that game is definitely made for it. You know, there's so many great stealth opportunities. Like also being able to blend in with the natural environments. Like with the bushes and, you know, all of that. But that's cool. I'm glad you had a good time with the game. And the stream. That is true, yeah, you know, just another year. That's gonna pass in no time here with this playthrough. Okay, so we don't have any artisans yet that can craft anything, but we also only have done like one Homestead mission. And that's the one you have to do as part of the main story. But we can technically trade the raw items. It's not much, but hey, it's better than nothing. Yeah, the sucker parties definitely. If I kicked my ass a little bit, like having to get down with the timing of the cannon shots and stuff, and like learning, you know, how to counter, you know, the ways of handling themselves. But later on they were less of a problem. But one thing that always bugged me a little bit is how some of them sacrifice themselves by dropping into you. Like that stuff is just so annoying how it can just basically one-shot, you know, some of your party members. And I also played on the hardest difficulties, so they dealt even more damage. And it was like even more important to kind of like parry and dodge properly. Ah, gotcha. So it's like the upgraded ones then in Act 3. Yeah. But that's cool that you're like so far ahead already with the game. So very close then to the end.
Bloody hell! Can you help me? Bloody hell!
No worries about misspelling their commander. I knew what you meant. But yeah, there's a few letters missing there. Almost sounds like a British saying.
Can you help me?
You know, where the T is silent in the middle of the name, like ba'a or wa'a. The British. The brutal.
Bloody hell! Can you help me?
How does it feel this time around doing the timeline order run with AC3, Rogue, and Liberation compared to the first time? Compared to the first time, definitely quite a bit different because I'm much more precise in the order of events. The first time I just roughly looked up the starting and end points of missions and like sequences and kind of like structured it around that. But this time it's about really like the precise timing and date of every single mission, at least as best as I can. So it's definitely a much more precise kind of like order of events, I guess, that we're doing. So yeah, that definitely is a bit of a change for sure. But you also notice when the game is not really 100% accurate on its own timeline. You know, sometimes you have like pop-ups in a cutscene where it's saying like 6 months later, but actually, you know, several years have passed. Or that the year that is playing is not matching the year of the main story. So that can definitely happen sometimes. But yeah, overall, it's definitely a really fun way of playing it this way, I feel like. It also awards you like a nice, you know, variety, jumping back and forth between those games, and fills in the gaps quite nicely, you know. Because sometimes you have like a character say like, it's been so long, and actually, you know, within the gameplay it's been like 5 minutes. But if you fill, you know, that time passing with like a couple hours worth of another game to fill in the time gap, then definitely adds a bit more weight to that kind of like comment being made about how much time has passed and, you know, all that type of stuff. So I definitely quite like, you know, that aspect about playing the Colonial Saga in that order. Exactly, Pearly. Yeah, the self-destruct is just really annoying. And quite punishing. Because there's definitely a bit of a build-up before it's self-destructing itself, so timing that right can be very tricky. Okay, so that's actually the next mission we're supposed to do here. The one introducing Myriam as a character. She's the Huntress.
Are you all right?
What do you think?
How did this happen?
Poachers in the woods. I asked them to leave. This was their answer.
Come on. We need to get that arm looked at.
What if the men who did this?
They can wait. Your wound cannot. You'll be able to make it to the house.
Yes. I think the ball took only flesh.
And what is your name?
Myriam.
Do you live nearby?
I don't have a home per se. I took to the frontier when I was a young girl. I made my life out here ever since. Living where the land makes it easiest.
Not a common choice for a woman of the colonies.
No, it's not. But truth be told, it was this, the convent or the brothels. I prefer the open air.
Such a cool character, Myriam. It's just still like the Homestead is still one of my absolute favorite like home bases in the AC series, you know. They give so much character to every one of its inhabitants. And not only that, you know, like on a narrative level, but also gameplay wise, you know. Seeing this place expand with buildings and people doing their stuff. And having a direct influence on the trading system, what you can craft, what you can buy, that they are harvesting and creating and crafting. What you then can trade with other, you know, vendors that are specifically looking for whatever it is that the artisans are making. It just all comes together quite naturally, I feel, in this game. Yeah, exactly, Rod. It's always funny when you have like comments being made about, you know, the time. Or if something is urgent or not, or if something has taken a lot of time. And it doesn't feel like it really matches, you know, the gameplay time at this pass. But yeah, pacing can be tricky, especially if you have like a story that takes place over like several years. Absolutely, you know, like there's so many great lines of Connor in the Homestead missions. And they totally show a different side of his character that you don't get to see maybe quite as often in the main story.
Connor, what are you doing?
Those poachers need to be stopped.
Saw the scabs from my hunting blind. Get to that and you shouldn't have any trouble finding them.
Use the rope dart if you can. Get familiar with it.
Oh, I will. Exactly right, you know. I mean, I like Ravensthorpe a lot too as a home base, but all the kind of like, you know, post-main launch, kind of like quest givers and stuff that are just there to kind of like give you more content. They don't really enrich Ravensthorpe in too much, you know, of a way. They're just like an excuse to kind of like get you to play more extra content. Wanting to play all the AC games at some point so much. This looks very fun. Hell yeah, that's great that you kind of like thinking about it, Pearly. Yeah, this is like my favorite series of games for sure. And I love most of the games in the series quite a bit. Just so much fun. And yeah, this game in particular also has some really cool mechanics, you know, with the forest parkour, for instance. Have you played any of the AC games before? And the poachers are going to get really familiar with it. Yeah, we're gonna see it from close up, that's for sure. Exactly, you know, I feel like there's definitely lots of, you know, great characters they have in the core, like, Homestead base, you know, that you get to already interact with in, you know, Norway and then, you know, when Ravensthorpe's being founded. But yeah, the cast is getting quite big and they don't revisit those characters too often anymore. And especially across how long the game is of Valhalla, you know, would have been good to have like more storylines with the recurring characters. Instead of like introducing even more. Did you, Pearly? Hell yeah. AC2 is my favorite in the series. So I hope you have a fun time with it. wolves actually get attracted by baits? Don't think they do. Of course, it's kind of like not the food they're interested in. They want meat. Meat is back on the menu, boys. Even if I took a page out of GTA 4 and 5 by having you hang out with characters doing certain activities, that would have been also really cool. Like activities you can repeat, you know, that allow you to learn more about the characters and their motivations and all that. Turn to my target. This is one of my targets. I think I was too close to the other guy. So the game was like, there's a radius around the target and you can't step out of the radius, even though the other targets are still outside of that radius. It's a bit weird, you know, you would think that the radius covers all targets and you are free to go between targets, but I guess I wasn't. Didn't know what to expect and ended up really liking it. Those are the best kind of experiences sometimes, you know, where you don't even know too much about what you like about a play or watching. Without really having many expectations and then, you know, ending up really enjoying it. Whatever, game. I didn't want to kill these guys after all. So beaver pelts actually worth a whole lot of money early on. And the good thing is you don't have to like buy them off anyone. And you can trade them as they are because pelts are always kind of like wanted.
You're insane, partner.
I should have chosen to be egg poachers instead. That would have been better for sure. I still would have seeked them out, but only to get one of those famous poached eggs.
Might be we make a good haul up there. I hear tell lumbering will be allowed to boot. What does he want with the territory if not the game and timber? Don't know. Don't much care neither. Beat skulking around these woods. Something don't feel right. Guilty on account of that woman? Nah, she had it coming. What's she dressed like that for? It's not natural. Hey! Where are you, fellas?
Shooting strangers in the forest, is that common hunting practice where you come from?
No!
Spare me! Go! Tell the friends you have left what happened here.
I love that music so much. Kind of evokes that feeling of like, you know, building something up. Getting shit done. I don't know, it always kind of like is a type of music that in this game I associate with, you know, for Homestead, kind of like getting on track and, you know, people coming to it and you're starting to build something up. It's kind of like motivating in a way. But still has that kind of like, you know, slightly melancholic, you know, undertone of the game, you know, as presenting throughout its story. It's not like, you know, the most cheery or like, you know, kind of like happy type of game, but yeah, there's still like an underlying hope, you know, the whole time. Your face is a natural poacher. Not when I'm done with it. Same here, dude. Yeah, it's definitely one of those tunes that you can easily put on loop. Just keep on playing.
Thank you, Achilles.
You are most welcome.
Why did those men attack you?
It's no secret this land is full with game. I spotted the trespassers en route to request permission to hunt here myself, and suggested they do the same.
The bounty of the forest is not mine to give. It is your right to hunt on this land, but I would appreciate you trading your surplus with the others.
Very well. I accept.
There we go. Got our very own huntress here. Oh yeah. And also our convoy is being attacked. Which is a bit unfortunate. Because we might lose it now and we have to recraft it. Which means I definitely wanna save it potentially, but I also can't fast travel, which means that ends up losing us money here. So we could maybe try to get the horse and then ride to the frontier real quick. Try if we can still get to the convoy in time to protect it. But I will also have to go here for 2 minutes or so to take care of something for dinner real quick. So I hope that doesn't take away from the timer here. But I think as long as you are in the menu, it shouldn't advance the timer, hopefully. But yeah, either way, I'm gonna be gone for just a few moments. And then I'll be right back in like just a few. And then we're gonna see if we can actually save the convoy or not. Alrighty. I'm back. So, let's have a look if we can get to a frontier and still save our convoy here, because otherwise we actually have to recraft the convoy. Which at this point we might not even be able to do. I'm trying to think who's the artisan. I think it's Lance, isn't it? That gets to build a convoy for us. Which is fair enough. I mean, that would actually be the next Homestead mission that we could do here. So we could also just take the loss and, you know, get Lance recruited and then just recraft a convoy, because there's not really much at stake here in terms of like money. And with Lance, we should be able to craft one pretty quickly. I hope. But yeah, I think it should be fine, honestly. So I might just leave the convoy here for now. Because otherwise, you know, I have to go like all the way to Frontier, then all the way back, and I can't fast travel either. And yeah. I feel like that's a bit of a time waste here. Right, there he is. Lance, the woodworker. Ouch.
What in God's name is going on around here?
He's just hanging out. And you shouldn't bother someone who's doing that, should you? Oh, Jesus Christ. He attacked me while I was hanging there and already was like falling back. So I was like falling back, then I was saving myself to grab the ledge, and then he attacked me while on the ledge. What a bunch of bastards. There was a bit of karma there for waiting so long to actually rescue Lance, I think. That's what you get for not helping people in time. These guys counter everything. Counter that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you all right?
I think so. Didn't do much to me aside from a good scare. Blackguards.
What did they want with you?
My purse, which was meager, and they decided to punish me for their trouble. Silly, really. My tools and equipment were worth a king's share to the right man. In any case, I had best get on my way. It's a long walk to the nearest inn. I thank you again for your kindness.
Have you no home?
Oh, well, I was a proud resident of Boston until recently, but I'm not a supporter of His Majesty, and, well, I was forced out of my woodshop and home by loyalists.
There are plenty around here who could use the services of a skilled craftsman, if you were looking for somewhere to settle.
Is that right? I may look into that.
There we go. The Whittler's weapons. A new homestead there, added to our community. And now we can go ahead and actually craft some, you know, woodworks. Which is handy because you also have lumberjacks. So they work quite well together here. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to this optional conversation over here. Speaking of the lumberjacks.
You must be Connor. We've been raring to finally meet you. My name's Catherine, and this is Diana. We're the wives of those two blockheads who cut trees.
Nice to meet you. We've heard so much of you from the boys. Glad to finally put a face to the name.
The pleasure is mine.
We were just discussing how nice this bit of territory is, on a river with nobody upstream. I won't lie, Godfrey's letter had me a little worried, but now that we're here and settled, I must say I'm rather happy.
They had us on this plot north of Champlain that was a tangle of rock and bramble. Ugh, horrible place. It's a real treat to be able to walk up the hill and take in the ocean.
Your husbands must keep you busy.
Nothing we can't handle, Connor. The boys think they run the show, but the real bosses are right in front of you.
I do not doubt it.
Took the words out of my mouth there, Connor. With those two, I definitely don't doubt it. Okay, so we have two options right now. We could go to the frontier and get another two homesteaders, which are Warren and Prudence. Or we could do the first pack leg mission. I have no idea if I actually have enough pack leg trinkets, but I think I'm gonna focus on the next homestead mission first, actually. Get Warren and Prudence, and then we're gonna head back to the homestead to do the first pack leg mission. Okay, we're gonna actually go back to our village first. And no, I don't want to fast travel, I just want to mark this. Okay. And yeah, I want to make sure to do that, you know, periodically, because there's a lot of optional conversations in this game that I believe actually add a lot to the story and to the characters. But the good thing is, due to us, you know, not fast traveling anywhere, it will give us a good opportunity to kind of like put those destinations, you know, on our way, on our route, and of course, you know, not skipping, for example, the frontier, by traveling directly from like the homestead to New York or whatever. It means you also have a natural way of like checking if there's anything to do or listen to in an area we're passing through.
Ja, man.
It was convenient. It didn't even try attacking me there.
Ja, Mann.
Okay, so this is one of the frontiersman mission. That's really interesting. This kind of like animus effect over this doesn't exist in the remaster. Kind of forgot about that. Also, be right back. Alright, so frontiersman missions are not built into the timeline, I don't think. And I think it's due to them often being based on like myths and legends and stuff, but I actually want to do them. They're not really tied to any kind of like specific date or something though. I'm just gonna recheck real quick for my timeline if they actually do make an appearance or not. Yeah, they don't, but I'm still gonna cover them though. I don't have to do all of them though, because they're not really, you know, super relevant, I guess, but if I come across them, I wanna do them for sure. And we can also learn about Daniel Boone, an actual historical character. He was a hunter and trapper who, through skill and luck, went on to become a near mythic figure in stories about the American frontier. Boone was born in Pennsylvania, but moved with his family to North Carolina in 1752. He traveled to the frontier frequently on hunting and trapping expeditions across modern-day North Carolina, Florida, and into Kentucky. The list goes on, but I stop it there because it's just a list of places that can be quite tedious. Boone is sometimes credited with discovering Kentucky, which is ridiculous as I'm fairly sure someone else must have seen it once. But he did have a major role in its colonization by Europeans. In 1773, Boone headed for the interior of Kentucky with a group of settlers with the intention of starting a town. Now the Kentucky interior had technically been ceded to the British after the Treaty of Stanwix, but not all of the indigenous residents agreed with the treaty or the incursion onto their traditional lands. Boone's group hadn't gone far when the party was attacked. Boone's son was captured and tortured to death, and the colonists left. However, Boone went back in 75 when he was hired by the Transylvania Company to blaze a trail to the interior, known as the Wilderness Trail. Boone settled in the area, founding the town of Boonesboro, Arrogant, which he later helped to save from attack by Shawnee warriors in the opening years of the Revolution. Boone was made famous in his later years not so much by his adventures, though he had many, which I'm sure he'd tell you about, but by books written about his life, some of which contained, let's just call them, historical inaccuracies. The one where he arrested a 60-foot manfish springs to mind. In reality, Boone wasn't one to embellish his experiences, which may be why people felt the need to do it for him. Ah, interesting. There's an entry for Shao Yun. I'm not gonna cover this as we already have played as Shao Yun and covered her story, and this isn't in relation to the current time we're playing in. So we do know all about Shao Yun and who she is.
We was. 8 months in the Kentucky frontier trapping and skinning elk. Well along my 3rd bale when they came upon us. No less than a dozen Shawnee hunters had us surrounded at the point of musket and arrow. My bush partner froze up stiff. The fear chilled me the same, but I managed to muster what little Shawnee I was knowing. The leader spoke too quick, but I gathered we was poaching, having crossed into their territory a month or so hence. Their musket barrels stared us down, the heads of their arrows smiling sharp at our backs. I bumbled a proposition and busted Shawnee. Our full piece, my 3 bales, and my partner's 2 less a half, in exchange for us quitting the Shawnee bush on our own legs. Leader nods to his boys. They load up our take and start back into the trees. The honcho stays a spell longer, just staring right through us with his 2 black eyes. And then he was gone. We picked up, set back east the way we came. Months of profit lost, but our own hides intact. Never saw the Shawnee again, but I know they was following us. I could feel their eyes on our backs, clear to North Carolina.
Fuck off.
That's a good reaction to that story. It's like, that sounds a bit exaggerated. Fuck off. Frontiersman. Daniel Boone was an excellent explorer and hunter with a knack for talking himself out of trouble. I imagine he and his friends will have some fascinating stories to tell. I wouldn't mind hearing them from a primary source myself. Later authors were known for adding ridiculous embellishments, like the one about Boone killing a bear with his bare hands, or swinging through the forest on vines, or the one where he modified a silver sports car to travel back in time and ended up kissing his mom, though that might have been something else. Boone and his friends travel all over the frontier, so they'll be able to tell you if there's any news that you shouldn't know about. Yeah, no, should know about, of course. Yeah, I think, Sean, that's another story. Something with future and back. There we are, back at the village where Connor or Ratanagiron grew up in. Let's talk to the Claw Mother.
Radun Hagerdu, Skanoruk Stiguyandares.
The god that there was the Ziata Zahayo snorted at the Wageno. Dwagimuyan hara Diwaga de Westun Haje.
Washe Chari got Dinahoda Zezax.
Zodio snore a Goderiandaratne, Netit Gayanayeri Wakatahidake.
On I at the Gayedi Nisa Geranu.
Nekti Dangayeri Gega.
Easy cock on Wadu does Saturday what Seraguase.
That is true, Afro, yeah. It definitely is very specific to Connor, and also with the additions, you know, that he made to it, making it look like more Mohawk as well in its style. So kind of like customize it to his own, you know, style. Definitely feels a bit odd, you know, having other characters or in other settings, people wear them.
Jogude Guhunkara always negon or Radun Hagedu. I am was your snorer down Dasanadara.
Let's also talk to KANEN'TÓ.
Radun Hagedum, Ugatsanuni Dizana Darletna.
Oniotun Haje.
Yoserio, Unguahetio, the La Ezeradi ona gara di there and sego yahda what their huts there is.
Wagatanuni dine e wageri waruge.
Oknize, Oniotun Haje Jatadego.
Dingewian harata neum kiswas. Nekti Zerunatu Haje Nerodi Sat Stasera. Ayawas your snore era awet denerodi Sat Stasera neon Juhunzage.
Kunaktaraguani di Dizanak deneganusesne. Dizanak dayandige nona so that the way nanda nedam the sahtondi. Nona oyen skaho er radun hagedun. Om the dansera.
It's definitely one of those outfits I don't like to wear on Edward either. But to be fair, I often don't end up using legacy outfits all that much in games. I feel like they're so specific to the character and often like time setting that it always stands out to me. But there's definitely some that stand out more than others. Okay, so I reckon the Homestead mission we're looking for here would be this one. It's quite a ride here, and we're not supposed to do any other missions except if I like frontiersmen or something. Let's call the horse, and we're just gonna head into that direction here. If we come across anything interesting, we can still do that. Yeah, Altair's outfit in Revelations. I guess in a way it feels more fitting because you kind of like also get to play as Altair in the game, and in the original version of Revelations they wanted to have Altair and Ezio both visit, you know, the same city. These guys don't like me. I don't like them neither. Oh, there's a fort here. Yeah, let's actually do it. The more forts we liberate, the better. It's gonna really help our trading aspect as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the IT outfit was really good in Revelations. I quite liked it. In general, like having all these IT memories was a really nice addition. And a great way to bring together, you know, the Ezio and IT timeline. I swear, enemies can see through wards in this game. Okay. The game minimized apparently. Fair enough. Jesus, look at this guy. He's actually parkouring. Oh, he's trying to shoot me through the wall. The stealth is so weird in this game. That's probably my biggest critique point about AC3 is that the stealth absolutely sucks at times. If it's not like designed in a way, you know, that it makes guards actively look away at stuff. Might actually be my least favorite stealth system in the entire series. Banshee.
He's close. Be very alert.
You have no business here. Some exercise.
One of these days I gotta do a dedicated stream on how the Homestead works. There's definitely going to be quite some Homestead heavy parts coming up. I think the next stream is gonna have a lot of them too. So I'll probably get a bit deeper into the mechanics then. Even worse than the Google Maps GPS stealth system from Valhalla? Honestly, yes. Yes, I take Valhalla stealth system over AC3 anytime. I mean, you know, the core mechanics, you know, and the animations and the tools you have are really good in this game. And for example, Black Flag, you know, has like a lot of similar tools and it's a much better stealth system. But it's just mostly affecting like enemy behavior. You know, in this game it just escalates so freaking quickly. I'm rich. 7.5k. That's what I like to see. But yeah, that's a great side effect of not doing any fast traveling. Because otherwise I never would have gotten to the Black Creek region that early in the game and got into this forge. Oh, we're gonna take a convoy. Another thing, you know, that you only trigger if you're actually traveling. Yeah, exactly, Afro, that's another thing. You know, like when enemies start to spot you and you want to go back to the bushes, but you can't actually because the game is actively preventing you from doing so as long as you don't break direct line of sight. I mean, I get what they're going for, you know, the logic of like, yeah, they can clearly see where you went into the bushes, you can't fool them. But under the logic that you actually stealth in bushes, you should be able to crouch back in there, and then you're stealthy, you broke line of sight, and then you can move around to the bushes, and they don't know specifically where you are anymore. From a gameplay perspective, that's probably better logic, you know. If it stealths you, you know, by being in there, it shouldn't matter where you go back into the bush and break line of sight. As long as you actually move away from the position where they last spotted you.
Thank you.
That animation. Holy shit. Failed air assassination because it's a moving small target into semi-failing and semi-landing on your horse again. It's more with the system, and AC3 betrays you when it can't figure out where the bush starts or ends, so it sometimes stands you up and when you are least expecting it. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that's another annoying thing for sure. Because if it happens in a restricted area, then it immediately makes people go into like red investigation. Which means you can't go back into the bush immediately unless you break line of sight again. But yeah, it's definitely annoying when, you know, you accidentally stand up out of a bush. Okay, shopkeeper. Always gotta make sure to go and visit them because that unlocks more trade opportunities
Buy or sell?
with vendors. So I guess this is something that a lot of people don't realize about the Homestead system, but you have to actively go ahead and seek out shopkeepers throughout the world, and once you do and have visited them at least once, they're gonna be unlocked for the trading system, and you then can trade specific goods to them. And they have like, you know, they're looking more into specific goods than other vendors, so having a lot of them available means you can get the most amount of money out of trading. Let's buy one poison dart for now. Of course, I don't want to spend too much money here on consumables. Ah, that's interesting. So I don't even showcase the outfits in the OG version. They just showcase like a crate. In the remaster, they actually made sure to have a proper display of the outfit. I didn't realize there was a difference here. But the thing is, it doesn't even matter which outfit you're choosing, because once you are in a cutscene, the OG version will automatically just have the default assassin outfit color displayed. That's one of the annoying things about the OG version. But yeah, it makes me even less inclined to actually buy different dice here for now. I'm gonna buy the trinket map, because it's something I do need for the pack leg mission, so the earlier we have this, the better. Freaking horses, at least riding was fixed in the remaster. Totally was, wasn't it? "13 years you never knew that. You're already learning." I wouldn't have learned that if it wasn't for my 100% playthrough of this game, which kinda required me to learn all that stuff. But the first time I played this game, and even, you know, my first replay and stuff, I didn't really get that deep into the homestead and trading and crafting either. Yeah, the Alexis outfit looks really bad on Connor. It just doesn't fit whatsoever. Okay, so we can now get Lance to do some crafting for us. So we can assign some oak lumber here. And then he can craft a barrel out of the oak lumber. Lance has crafted barrels from the oak lumber. This new resource can now be used for trading. Yeah. So this is like still tutorial stage here. But I think now we are able to actually buy some stuff out of a stockpile. So this is usually where I start out, you know, in the trading system. I just go into the stockpile and I buy anything that's like affordable, that the artisans or the, you know, yeah, homesteaders have kind of like gathered and, you know, harvested, I guess. So in this case, we have 1 charcoal to buy. Well, actually, we have already bought it. We can only buy 1 each at this point. Then they have gathered some catnip here. We're gonna buy 10 of it. For $30, it's like, you know, barely an investment. How many points to do a playthrough in the Alexis outfit? I think that we'll have to wait until we do a wacky playthrough of AC3. With like lots of memes and playing the game in like Japanese and Russian audio, and what better to combine it with than, you know, Alexia's outfit and outfits that don't really belong into the game. Probably until then. Exactly, Afro. Yeah, you buy everything in the stockpile, so you can then use it in the crafting and use your artisans to craft something out of, you know, the herbs and wood and all that type of stuff. But you gotta have, you know, all the resources first in the stockpile before you can use them for crafting. That being said, you can also use anything that's in Connor's inventory for crafting. For example, if you don't want to buy pelts of the huntress because it's actually quite expensive, you could rather hunt yourself and then use Connor's inventory for trading and crafting as well. So anything that you're carrying personally, you can also consider into the crafting of a homestead. Let's buy 10 snake root. Yeah, here's what I mean. Like, you could technically buy 10 beaver pelts, which is still very much worth it, you know. But it's more worth it to save your money early on and just trade the pelts you already have crafted, already hunted yourself. Like, we have 1 beaver pelt here, 1 cougar pelt, 1 elk pelt, 2 fox pelts, I guess. And all that, and it's much better first to, you know, trade that instead. But yeah, let's have a look at the crafting department. I reckon at this point we don't really have much to craft because we only have 1 artisan here, which is Lance. But yeah, so going here into the crafting, you can see which artisans you need. In this case, Big Dave is needed, we don't have him yet. And which resources. So you can also select the recipe to kind of like know exactly what you need, like iron ore and kindling. But yeah, we don't have those guys yet. But we can kind of like scroll over here and look for anything that might be able to be craftable. Like a land convoy is what I'm looking into, because we have lost our first land convoy already. But I'm missing oak lumber that I now have used for the tutorial to craft a barrel with. And there's no oak lumber currently available to buy because we haven't harvested one yet. So that's something we have to wait for. So yeah, nothing to do here for now, but we can trade though with the pelts that Connor has hunted. Never mind, I can't trade because I don't have any convoy at the moment. Because we lost our first one, so that will also have to wait, but that's fine. Does the Homestead have its own exclusive weapons when trading? I know there's an X you can get, you think? Yeah, there's quite a few crafting upgrades with Big Dave, the blacksmith. Which means you can get certain types of weapons that you can only get through the, you know, crafting. And there's also the pouch upgrades as well, you know, like having more ammunition and all that type of stuff you can get through the crafting system of a homestead. And only for that as well. Yeah, it's definitely not as simplified as, let's say, the Ezio games, you know, where everything worked for money. It's a lot more like, you know, trade and exchange type of deals. Rip. No convoy.
Take what you deserve, rebel.
Alright, that's the next homestead mission we have to do here.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like! Straw pole!
What happened?
They demanded we give our entire yield to the crown. Warren refused. They killed our animals, salted our earth, then dragged us out. You saw what followed. I'm afraid we have nothing to give you in thanks, stranger. We have nothing left.
Perhaps there is something you could do instead.
Anything.
I live in a small community not far from here. The soil is rich. The people I live with would have need of fresh vegetables, wheat or corn. If you were to rebuild your farm, you may prosper.
What kindness is this? This certainly comes see. Thank you.
And so good to save Warren and Prudence here and, you know, give them a place where they are safe and, you know, won't be harassed by anyone. And also, you know, to provide them with a place where they can actually go ahead and start their family, since that's something they've been trying for a while. But yeah, I just love how wholesome, I guess, you know, the homestead is as well. Giving a place to people, you know, to prosper and live and be safe.
Dark days, and another joins the dead. He's starting to smell.
He's starting to smell the dead bodies that I just killed, is it? Well, I'm sorry about it, but that's how I roll. Alrighty, but yeah, that means we can now head back again to the homestead. No, I don't want to fast travel. I just want to mark this place. Let's have a quick look over here. I think there's another shop that we can unlock here as a trading opportunity. That guy just despawning. Ironic that you said the homestead is a place people can be safe next to the smelly bodies of the people you ruthlessly murdered. Well, that's a thing. That wasn't in the homestead, but at the very south map of the frontier. And once they get to the homestead, they're gonna be safe and sound. But that will definitely not stop us, though, from killing people at the homestead. Because there's gonna be a few guys that will come and bother us later on, that we have to defend ourselves against. But for now, though, we're gonna be safe and sound. And no one is gonna get murdered. Yet.
Come to buy or sell?
Yes, I just want to interact with him here to unlock this as a trading opportunity. Oh, never mind. There's actually some new things to buy now already. Now that we have Warren and Prudence. So you can buy some beeswax. Some eggs. Honey. And milk. The land where honey and milk flows. Okay, so we still can't buy some oak lumber here at the moment. Fair enough. Nobody in the graveyard is going to harm you. Seems safe enough to me. Exactly so, Tripper. Welcome in as well, dude. And yeah, that's my thinking. £10 for some eggs, cost of living in 18th century. It almost sounds like modern prices, doesn't it? Another convoy to take. They shot him through the wagon. Seems legit. The guy riding the wagon is just chilling. Yeah, our notoriety is getting a bit high here. We also killed a few people. Just a horse game, no need to swell the orchestra for it. Yeah, that definitely happened a bit out of nowhere. That kind of like heroic music.
Prepare to leave.
Jesus Christ. horse. Got away. So the guy tried to shoot me, then the horse kind of like roared up, and in that moment I accidentally shot the horse trying to shoot him. Things didn't quite go as planned there. Riding among some epic trees. The epic frontier. So these viewpoints in the frontier are always a bit of a gamble because you never really fully know where the haystack is that you're supposed to jump into. You would always, you know, assume that it's like directly frontal positioned of you, but that's not always the case. So there's always at least, you know, a few times where I just end up doing a leap of fail instead. Good old leap of fail, indeed. It definitely tends to happen a bit more often with those kind of viewpoints. And that's without, you know, intention either.
Yeah, man.
Time to make our propaganda like Sam Adams taught us. Yeah, definitely will happen soon.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean, Rod. Those kind of viewpoints. It also reminds me of the viewpoint in AC Origins at the Aqueduct. The way you spawn there is kind of making you think that you have to jump in the direction that you're looking. Yeah. But not quite. I definitely also, you know, fast traveled there before and just jumped down thinking there's a haystack, but then it definitely wasn't. A haystack for the Templars. In case we ever synchronize with a viewpoint. Or with assassins that don't wanna have in the Brotherhood anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yama.
More like a death stack by the time the character lands.
Yama.
Yama. Reminds me of a Jamaican Yaman. But you know, it's a Mohawk for thank you. He's like thanking nature, Mother Nature, for providing him with all of this. Oh, that's so cool. You know, they made actually sure to have like, you know, baby animals as well. And there's like even animations of them like, you know, playing with each other. You can't hunt small animals though. You only hunt their parents. But yeah, in that case, you know, seeing that I'm not gonna hunt the parent here. And I feel like that would also make sense for Connor, you know, to only hunt those that he knows are not raising any pups or something. Gotta make sure that nature provides for itself. Yeah, I think it's time for a big explosion. It works. And again, we're playing with epic music. It's bad to cure children, but making orphans is fine. Exactly, Jay. Hit the nail on the head there. I mean, ask so many superheroes, you know. Bruce, for example. Batman. He wouldn't be Batman if he wasn't an orphan. If we didn't have orphans, we wouldn't have Batman. So clearly, making more orphans is a way to go. Given. Can I climb from this side? I guess not. We have to circle around here. You like how if you don't harvest your kills and try to leave the area to bring up a message that the ancestor didn't do that? Ah yeah, what you also say, Afro? Yeah. I usually never get that because I usually always harvest what I hunt. Because yeah, it definitely makes sense for Connor, you know, that he wouldn't leave it behind. But it's really cool that they do that. Because, yeah, it's like a nice way of like, you know, using synchronization and desynchronization to kind of immerse yourself into what the character does and doesn't do. Absolutely rot. I love its musical theme here. It usually plays after you liberate forts as well. Wait, so the anime supports the creation of orphans to maintain the timeline and assure the creation of Batman? That's some meta shit. Exactly. That's exactly what happens here. I stand by that with my word. But don't quote me, Wo. Makes you think of Arno if you do the kill on Le Pelletier with a poison and he tells his daughter to go home before he wanders off. I mean, regardless of method, Arno still kills the father, but yeah. That's a really cool moment, you know, that he actually realizes that something is off and he's been likely poisoned. And then in his last moments, you know, also kind of like asking Arno to spare his family. I think he does. I definitely like to do it that way as well with a takeout. There's a bit more, you know, story to his character. It makes him also, you know, a bit more human. Even though he's like an antagonist. So because I haven't started the Encyclopedia of a Common Man Homestead mission yet, I can't actually track what the homesteaders are doing yet. So that we have to wait. Okay, they want me to do something here, but I can't do this homestead mission yet. So I have to ignore these guys. For now. The pastime in AC3 is finding out how to climb this hill for 10 minutes. Where's the ledge? That can definitely be tricky sometimes. When you're not being provided with like, you know, a really good route to get to where you want to go. And it gets also noticeable when you're not fast traveling quite as much. But Rogue and Liberation were a lot worse for me, I have to say. I don't know what it is with Ubisoft Sophia, but I don't really get down with a pathfinding too much. Of the way they kind of like layer the paths that you're supposed to take. There's so many dead-end parts as well, you know, where it kind of like starts out. For example, you would have like a setup like this, you know, like a tree. You can climb, then go up. But then, you know, it doesn't like lead anywhere to go from there. And you have to kind of like pass, you know, something that's swimmable terrain, for example, like the swamps in Liberation. So that part can be a bit annoying. For sure, yeah, having unique ways of, you know, killing people, it definitely adds replayability as well, you know, to like those assassination missions. I've been having the urge to play the Hitman games again for that reason as well, you know, of like having so many ways to kind of like deal with targets. But as well, yeah, you know, like doing that in the snow can also be a bit of a hindrance.
What do I owe this great honor, Captain?
The letters you speak of, what are they?
Oh, now you want to know. Captain Kidd's letters, boy. He hid a great treasure somewheres and sent letters to 4 of his crewmen along with a strange piece of leather. If you find the men, you'll find the scallywag. It's that easy, 'tis.
May I see them?
You might be a captain, but you're not too bright, are you? I'll barter with them. You give me some trinkets I like, and I'll give you a letter. Building my own treasure cache, see?
Trinkets? Like what? Where?
Use your imagination, Captain. There's interesting swag all over the frontier.
Some swag. The Aquila looks so odd as a ship with that size of only 2 masts. And then it's also supposed to be the fastest ship in the North Atlantic. Captain Piss Off II. Indeed. Captain William Kidd. So, James Kidd, right, aka Mary from Black Flag. She's supposedly the daughter of William Kidd, but I think that's only part of her kind of like disguise. You know, of course having that you know, alternative persona of like being James Kidd, you know, a man that's a pirate. But their real name is Mary Reed, so I doubt that there's any, you know, relation. But you never know, you know, if Mary Reed is, like, if Reed is her actual surname or not. I think it is, but we haven't gotten, like, you know, a full confirmation on who her parents actually are, I don't think. Could also be, you know, that her mother was called Reed and William Kidd was still the father. But she took on, you know, the name of her mother. But yeah, I guess time-wise it could definitely fit, you know, considering when he is born, he could definitely be the father to her. But that's also why she chose him, I guess, you know, as like part of her persona and story. Give him 4 rocks. He got made he got trinkets. Yeah, that's all the swag I could muster. Absolutely rot. Yeah, I would love to have more story on Mary, and you know, you could have a prequel story, I guess. You know, like her joining the Assassins, and before, you know, kind of like Black Flag starts. But then you could also kind of like show some of the things she's doing when Black Flag story is happening that we didn't see. Captain William Kidd was a Scottish privateer turned pirate and the center of numerous pirate legends. Not much is known about Kidd before the late 17th century, even his year of birth is approximate. It's reasonably certain he's from Scotland, but that's about it. Every good pirate needs a mysterious past. Kidd first appears in historical records in 1689 when he's listed as a captain. He was a privateer for Britain in the West Indies before sailing for New York City, where he lived for several years. In 1695, Kidd was given a privateer's commission to hunt ships in the Indian Ocean and headed for Madagascar, which at the time was a known pirate haven. Then Kidd disobeyed the terms of his privateer's commission, attacking ships in the Red Sea. No one is quite sure why, but I guess that's pirates for you. They're bonkers. When Kidd returned to the West Indies in 1699, he found that he was a hunted man. He sold his ship, the Queda Merchant, in Hispaniola, and headed up the coast in a new ship. Kidd knew he was likely to be caught and wanted to have a bargaining ship to secure his own freedom, so he started hiding treasures as he went. The idea being that he could later give away the locations in order to save his own skin. Kidd was finally captured when he returned home to New York. He tried to talk and buy his way out of arrest, but it didn't work. He was hanged for piracy in 1701, which must have been so annoying. As for Kidd's treasure, it's known that he buried some of it on Gardiner's Island, off the coast of Long Island, New York. That part was eventually recovered after Kidd's death. Nobody knows what else he did, but speculation still rages today over how much he buried and where. For sure, yeah, you know, Atabai as a mentor to Mary. And also how she comes up with the persona of James Kidd. Would definitely make for some cool social stealth moments, you know, because we see, of course, in that one plantation raid mission, how she poses as, you know, a female trying to get the help of soldiers before killing them. So you could also play around with that social stealth aspect. I make my own luck, Dad. No, son, I make my own luck. Touché. That's the sequel you want. The Shay sequel. It just keeps on going forever like this. No, I make my own luck. Getting hanged for piracy is terrible. Happens to you at least once a month. So annoying. I know, right? I hate when it's this time of a month. The best you can do is just try to hang out for a while. Fort Duquesne. This fort sits at the junction of the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers, essentially the beginning of the Ohio River. In 1754, the French and British governments were fighting over who controlled the territory in the area. When settlers from Virginia began to build a fort, French-Canadian forces chased them out, which is weird, because Canadians are usually so polite. Anyway, they finished the fort, which was nice of them, and named it after the then governor of New France, the Marquis Duquesne, which was wonderfully thoughtful. In response, the British colonial government sent George Washington to retake the fort at the Battle of Fort Necessity, and then Edward Braddock, the Braddock Expedition. Both attempts failed miserably, each being defeated before they ever reached the fort. Fort Duquesne remained under French control until 1758, when the French troops abandoned and burned it. The British moved in and rebuilt it, naming the new construction Fort Pitt, the location of modern-day Pittsburgh, which makes me think maybe they shouldn't have bothered. As a pirate, it's key to never skip neck day at the gym, otherwise those repeated hangings will get you. You gotta have like such strong neck muscles that if you kinda like tighten them, they just end up snapping the rope. Exactly, Afro. Just hang tight.
What you got for me? Ah, you brought me some good pieces. That's worth a letter to be sure. Here you go, Captain.
I will be back for the rest.
A letter? For me? A letter to Lucky Lem. Lucky Lem.
A letter? For me?
For me? Indeed. I write you the script from the North Atlantic, having sailed here aboard my sloop, where the king's limeys are hot on my trail. I trust the adventure prize remains safe, but I rest assured it is in the best of hands. Yours. I've always trusted you as one of my most loyal and faithful men, and that is why I now send you this scroll. It is of the utmost importance that you do not open it, as it could mean my life. Carry it with you always. Never give it to a soul, no matter the price offered, and believe whatever that cost might be, I will double it when I find you. I do not know when I will be free of these varlets, but they will not catch me. People very well may come looking for my scroll. Trust no one. Heed my warnings. Captain William Kidd. Alrighty, so that gives us the location of the first Peg Leg mission, which should be Fort Wolcott. Indeed. And that's what we're gonna do. But it's also gonna be the last mission for today, though. It's too funny. Yeah, just such a meme. Especially when you do like a bit of side content, like early on in Syndicate, you can unlock that quote so early that every time you go back to the train, it just happens every time. So if you pick up the money, you know, a few dozen times across the playthrough, you're gonna hear it as many times. He was on a sloop, living in a loop, ate too much soup, then had to poop. That is quite similar to the rhyme I met recently over at Arctics, because he likes to say like bleed to the least so much. I was like, yo Arctic, bleed to the lee, I had so much tea I had to pee. You think it's like 4 out of 5 burrows? I think it's only 3 actually that you have to get. It's only 2 on top of the first tutorial car, like burrow that you take over.
Fort doesn't look as abandoned as it should. Looks occupied as can be.
I will need something to draw their attention then. Once you lose sight of me, wait for 10 minutes, then bombard the fort. I will slip out under cover of the shelling.
Aye, aye, sir. Sounds a trifle dangerous, but I'm sure you're up to it. I doubt they let convicted pirates like old Lucky Lem out of his cell much, so if his little scroll is anywhere, it's there.
Okay, gotta do some ledge assassinations here. Let's do minimum 3 before you unlock sequence 8. Yeah. And the first one you kinda like have to do as well as part of the first sequence in London.
Position 1! Position 2! Move!
This mission looks so different in the remaster. Like the lighting and the general atmosphere. Sounds good, Chilla. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you have fun with F1. Hope you enjoy. And if anyone hasn't checked out Chilla's channel yet, then definitely recommend doing so. He's just recently started his first ever playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima. And is also aiming to go for the 100% in that game. Also big fan of Assassin's Creed and has played those games on a regular basis. So if you're a fan of these games, then definitely also recommend for those.
It's probably a gull or a rat. It's the only intruders we get here anyway. Oh.
Fort Wolcott was built to protect the nearby town of Newport, Rhode Island. The fort sits in Newport Harbor on a small island known as Goat Island. I know almost no one who would want to live in a place called Goat Island, apart from one goat I know. The original fort was built in the early 1700s by the Spanish. It was expanded by the British in the 1730s, which is when it was named after Fort George, after King George II of course. The fort was captured by Rhode Islanders twice in the 1760s and used to fire on British ships in the harbor. At the outbreak of the Revolutionary War, the rebels renamed it Fort Liberty. It was retaken by the British in November in 1776, who decided Fort Liberty wasn't really appropriate anymore and returned its name to Fort George. It remained Fort George until about 1784, when it was again occupied by rebel forces and renamed Fort Washington. It was later renamed Fort Wolcott after Oliver Wolcott. I know what you're thinking, and it's true. This fort has changed names more often than your high school band. You miss the times when you could casually bombard a military outpost for personal reasons and get away with it. I know, right? Where have times gotten that this isn't allowed anymore? I had to think the same thing, Dr. Darling. It's like a goat island. Sounds a lot like the starting island, Kefalonia.
Get down or you'll pay for it. I'll beat the bejesus out.
What? I didn't get detected. I killed him.
Probably a gull or a rat. The only intruders we get here anyway. Preposterous. Send me across the ocean to play sentry on some meaningless isle. This is my last tour for a certainty. When I see the captain, I'll look him directly in the eyes and say, "Sir, I am going home. I've had enough of these nonsense assignments."
Who would ever attack this fort, I ask you? Nobody. No reason to. They sent us here because the captain did something wrong. Like what? Buggered if I know.
I wager he buggered something. Come off it. And keep watch.
Yeah.
Oh, missed my timing. Oh, gotta wait for him to return.
Double time! We'll get a whip if we're late for the captain's address.
I'm hurrying.
Complaining of his assignment. The fort is meaningless. Command is punishing the captain for what happened in Poland. I've had enough. We are here under orders, I need not remind you, to hold Fort Wolcott against the rebels at all costs. And that is all that need concern you. You are not trained to comment on strategy, nor are you aware of rebel movements. So put a stop to it. The next man I hear questioning the validity of our post will receive 10 lashes and 7 days in the old dungeon without rations. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Check the dirt sheet for duties and details for the coming week. B Company will be in drills and without rum rations until they properly execute formations 2 and 3. Such sloppy marching will not be tolerated.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whole lot of buggering going on here. But just the default AC3 experience. Gotta always prepare yourself for some bugs. No verse of a shout out, Shella. Same here, Marquis de Sade. I've had enough too. Always good to have that voice actor in the AC games. Even if it's just like minor characters he's doing.
Jack and Ake deserved everything he got. We won't tolerate such behavior. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you.
He didn't mean anything but what he said.
You're getting sick.
I just don't think it's right.
lies under the eagle's bed.
Let's see what you got, rebel.
I must move swiftly.
You're late, Captain.
Those occupying the fort were less than thrilled by my presence.
And?
And what?
The damn scroll, you muckworm. Was it there?
That it was, Mr. Faulkner.
And there we go. That's the first part of a scroll. And our first pack deck mission finished. I love these missions a lot, you know, they're kind of like the replacement for classic tomb missions in a way. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be doing all of them. But it will be a little bit of a while until we do the next one though. Because the next mission now would actually be the first mission of Sequence 6. Which is on Johnson's trail, so getting to, you know, investigate Johnson as a target and what he's planning. But I won't be doing that until the next stream though. For today, this is gonna be everything we will cover in this stream. Big Dave, yeah, that's another great actor. I love his voice. Yeah, the music is so good in that mission. And the leap of faith that Connor's doing is definitely quite one. You know, he doesn't really see what's under him when he's jumping out of a window. You don't know how Connor can be hated. He got a great sense of humor, very dedicated to his goals, very skilled. Me neither. I feel like people were expecting him to be like a charming Renaissance man for some reason. Like they want him to be a character that he's clearly not, you know. I guess they spend so much time with Ezio that they can't see another one to take the mantle of an assassin protagonist. Thank you, Afro. Yeah, that definitely went quite smooth overall. But it definitely helps that I've played this before, because I definitely had moments where I failed one of the objectives, which is to get a kill streak of 3. Because I didn't see the pop-up happening, telling me that I have to do it, for instance. So knowing what you get into and when objectives pop up can definitely really help getting it done on the first try. No worries for the stream, Rod. Thank you for being here and for joining us. And thank you everyone so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Oh, I just realized I totally missed that last message from Pearly Snow. You're probably not watching anymore, but I'm so sorry. I kind of like went under the messages at the time. But yeah, I suppose you're already, I guess, in bed and sleeping. But if not, then I definitely hope you have a good night. And yeah, I wanted to thank you again for the raid as well earlier. Definitely appreciate it. And everyone who joined in with Pearly Snow's raid as well. Can't wait for the naval missions. Yeah, just having a look when the first batch of naval missions is really happening, actually. 1 second. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the naval missions are not really happening until 76 or so. So it's still gonna be a few years until we really dig deeper into the naval missions. Thanks again for giving that shout out as well to Pearly Snow Rod. I appreciate that. And yeah, let's go ahead and quit here for now. And let's have a look who's online and who we can rate ourselves. The Giant in the Storm optional objectives. Dude, that mission. Definitely looking forward to 100%ing that one. But yeah, it would definitely help, you know, all the fails I have with that mission. Knowing which strategy is like effective to get it done. So hopefully I won't have to retry it too many times. Alrighty, so Lucinda's playing some Evil Within 2 today, so we're gonna go ahead and raid over there, see how that's going. And also give a shout out to Rod for those of you who haven't checked out his channel yet. He's currently playing for the Tomb Raider games, the you know, new set of Tomb Raider games at the moment. Doing a stealth challenge of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but he's also a massive fan of Assassin's Creed. Also, of course, check out Pearly Snow if you're looking for some Clair Obscur content. Also, definitely recommend checking out Jay, who's currently playing for Darksiders 2. As well as Souldrapper, who's playing some Rocksmith. And also check out Amita, who's currently playing some Cyberpunk 2077. If you want to join us with a raid over to Lucinda, then feel free to copy and paste these raid emotes. And yeah, I will catch you at some point during the coming week It's gonna be a pretty busy one, and I will be gone over weekend, but I hope to fit at least one stream in at some point. But yeah, catch you guys next time, and I hope you have a good rest of your weekend.